All right, welcome to Simplifying Social Media. I'm your host, Tamany Hall, and today we are joined by Cici Munoz-Soto. Thank you so much for joining us, Cici.
Yeah, no problem.
And Cici, you were just nominated #2 real estate agent on social media in Sacramento. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
How did that happen? Like, did you apply for that? Did that just like surprise you?
It surprised me actually. It was screenshotted and sent to me, and at first I thought it was an ad, but I was like, how was I on here? So it's this marketing website called Property Spark, and
Okay.
they just found me on my guessing Instagram because that's the platform I use the most, and I was ranked #2. So that was a huge surprise, but super thankful.
That's awesome. I love it. So we are super excited to kind of pick your brain today, so we really appreciate it. Let's kind of dive in. If you could share a little bit about the role social media plays with your business.
Yeah, so social media plays a huge part of my business. I leverage it a lot with my marketing. I actually don't spend money on marketing. I leverage the free platforms like Instagram. That's the main one. I do a little bit on Facebook. I do have a business Facebook page, but I do a lot of Instagram. And so really, I've just kind of taken it on. I mean, I'll sometimes promote a post, and the most I'll spend is $10 to $15.
Yeah.
Just to reach a wider audience than the people that follow me already, just to try to gain followers from that. I use a lot of hashtags, and essentially how I see it is no matter what app or platform that people are using when they're looking up houses, we live in a world of social media. So when people are done looking at, I hate to say the Z word, but when they're out looking online for houses and stuff, when they're done, what do they go to? They go to their social media. They go to Instagram, they go to Facebook, and they go to there. So really just utilizing those tools and just getting myself out there.
I love it. And have you always, like before you were a realtor, were you on social media or did you join because you're a realtor?
No, I'm a millennial. I feel like we've kind of grown up with social media. I mean, we've seen it all evolve as we've evolved. And, a lot of our, the generation before us are coming into it, and then the generation behind us. So I feel like that's kind of the central point of, especially now that we can't gather, that's how we're keeping in touch and keeping in contact with people is through really social media.
Yeah. And was there a shift like where you saw your engagement like just jump, or has it just been a gradual increase over time?
I'd say once I got into real estate and I started utilizing that for business as well. I also have one profile. I don't have separate personal or business. I keep it all together. And I've really learned some algorithms and just different ways to engage. And it's helped me gain followers. I've actually gotten business from it. People reach out to me all the time, whether it's questions about purchasing, properties.
Yeah.
And I've also had people inquire about getting into real estate themselves. And so being a resource, that's how I see it, is being that go-to person, and just really it's the engagement and talking to people. And, so when they think real estate, they think of me.
I love it. You mentioned that you get leads from social media. Do you have a particular strategy that you utilize for that?
I think it's the way I set up my page. So I'm going mostly off Instagram because I don't use Facebook that much. But what I've done is, so you have like three pictures per row. And if you were to see my profile, all real estate lines up together, anything real estate related.
Oh,
and
interesting.
then it's like personal stuff. So one of the reasons why I combined it is because I want people to feel comfortable, like they know me. So when they approach me as a realtor, they kind of have a sense like they kind of already know who I am.
Yeah.
And so that's it kind of gives like a warm lead. And so when I post something about real estate, people, they see that I'm in that. And then almost every time I do anything real estate related post, I'll have at least one person inquire, "Oh, you're a realtor." And then they'll have a question. about something. And
Love it.
in my first year of business, I sold 8 units in my first year, and I believe 3 of them came from Instagram.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And then the one I have right now was also from Instagram. So
I love that you mentioned, leveraging the free platforms that are out there, because I feel like everything right now is this monthly subscription and like you just have to add it, and there are free tools out there. You have to put in the work for them, right?
yeah.
You mentioned algorithm. So it's February 2021. Have you noticed any changes? Are you aware of anything that's kind of, helping you or maybe hurting others as far as the algorithm goes?
Yeah. So there's a couple different strategies. Typically, Instagram wants to see how active you are. So before I post anything, I make sure to go and like a bunch of people's pictures on my feed. Like I just like them. And that's already showing some engagement to Instagram. And then like I'll comment or reply on someone's story or something. And then when I make my post, also it's using the hashtags and using multiple words. Like even if you just your caption, you want to make sure it's at least 10 words, because if the time that someone's spending looking at your post, so the longer your caption is, they're going to be sitting at your post longer. Instagram takes that as longer engagement. So they're going to put you higher up on people's feeds. Gotcha. And so even though I have like a huge following, I don't have that many likes, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you're still having a lot of engagement and stuff. And so there are a lot of different tricks. It's using the hashtags, which there is an app called Hashtag. And so that one there is, I just use the free version. And what you can do is so if I'm doing a real estate post, I'll put hashtag real estate and it'll generate 30 hashtags that are being used or searched the most that is related to that. Gotcha. Based on recent. So it could change up. So that's why every time I'll go on there, and then sometimes I have to manually do it, write the hashtags, but that is just showing me, okay, these hashtags are trending right now. So I want to use those hashtags so I show up on the other people's profiles. Right. And then by doing that too, you gain more followers throughout the week. Gotcha. It is a gradual process, but these are just different algorithms because they want to see the engagement and stuff. And then, that's mostly what I do to get that.
I love it. Are there any other apps that you leverage in like partnership with Instagram, or is it pretty much just that one?
I use hashtag and Pixel Loop. I use that loop. Pixel Loop. Okay. That one you can animate a photo. Cool. Obviously, for the free versions, there's only so much you can do. But what I do is, if you also post videos, it shows a variety of content on your page. So you can even upload a photo and add like some type of animation, whether if it's a picture of a house, you can animate the sky. And then it comes out as a video. So it's showing more variety on your page. Oh,
and Instagram likes that.
And Instagram likes that because they, it's all influencers and content creating. And that's another thing too, is I don't post every day. That's another algorithm trick, is posting on your story frequently. So I did learn that. So if you're posting at least 5-6 stories a day, because stories last 24 hours. Right. So that's showing some activity. And then posts on your feed, I try to do at least 3 posts a week. Because if you post every day, in a way, Instagram, this is what I've learned as an algorithm, is if you post every single day on your feed, it can actually bring your audience down. Interesting. Yeah. So by doing it 3-4 times a week, they're like, oh, this person posts, and they'll put you up higher. Versus, and then, you know what I mean? So that's another algorithm trick that I've learned too. So feed like 3-4 times a week, and then story, but you want to post on your story every day. Every day. That's interesting. I feel like I have been taught opposite, but I also know that the algorithm changes so often that you just have to keep trying until something works.
So I really appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
You kind of touched on this a little bit, but do you have like a pattern or a flow that you follow in regards to what you post on your feed? You mentioned every third is a real estate post. Can you get a little bit more specific?
Yeah, so every third post on my feed is real estate related. And so that way it aligns nicely on my profile. It's organized. And then I'll do some personal posts as the other two, whether
Okay.
it's a selfie or pictures with my son or pictures with something. But it's more personal. So that way it's kind of letting my audience get to know me in a way. And then on my story, I just post what I'm doing because people like to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
If I'm working, if I'm out showing homes, I have to post that. And sure enough, when I'm doing that on my story, when I'm showing homes and it's a beautiful home, I get some engagement, I respond, and then I'll have people like, you know what, I'm interested in buying. I want to see this house and stuff like that. So it just creates, it's all about the content and being consistent with it.
Yeah. I love the way you talk about it. I feel like some people talk about it almost like a full-time job. Like, I have to post every day. It has to be about this and beautiful,
Yeah.
And I feel like social media should be fun, right? Like, and I think that comes across on a page. Like when you go to your page, it feels fun, it feels lighthearted, and it feels genuine versus
Yeah.
like going to someone's page and it's just like quote, 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 selfie, quote.
Yeah, exactly. And just that people are, especially if people are at home, they're bored, they want to know what other people are doing. That's just the reality of today. So that's really important.
People are nosy.
They're nosy, yeah, but also being careful what you post. You don't want to overshare either.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's worked as far as like when I meet people. Like, don't get me wrong, Instagram can attract not every lead or opportunity you get from that is going to be 100%.
Yeah.
But the few that I have gotten from there, it's more, I always meet with people in public the first time, especially if it's any online lead. And no matter where you get it, if it's an online lead, meet in a public place first. But there are a handful of people, like clients that I've got from Instagram and stuff, and it's worked out well. And when they meet me, they already have, like I said, it's a sense of they kind of know who I am.
Yeah, like a friend.
So it's not awkward.
Yeah. So what are your strategies in order to attract followers, like local followers, or do you?
It's a lot of hashtags.
Yeah.
And then what I do is I follow just a lot of people that I know have high engagement in Sacramento or influence in different industries around Sacramento. And it's just knowing people too, is getting in contact with the right people, having friends that are barbers, DJs, and anything like all around Sacramento. At some point, someone's going to be interested in buying or selling. Yeah. So that's the way to keep up with people when there's, even though we're going through COVID, when there's events and stuff, just keeping in touch with what's going on in town. Because like I said, I want to be a resource where, people think of me with real estate, but also what's going on in town, and so that's where people go to find information.
Do you spend a lot of time creating like graphics, or like when you want to like share or like teach your audience about something, what's your strategy behind that?
I do a lot of my marketing stuff. It is Canva. I do Canva, KW, the designs in Command. I use that. So anytime it's in a contract, closes, just something real estate related, I use those to just make them pretty, whether I'm making it into an animation, like a video, or if it's just a picture. Those are my main things that I use. Okay. Pixaloop, like I said, the Pixaloop one.
I need to check that out. I'm super curious about it.
Yeah, that one's good. But I think the one I use the most is designs in Canva.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those ones, because they're easy. They're super simple, it's very straightforward. And you can make a photo, marketing material in like 20 minutes. at most,
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
and most of them are free.
Free.
Yeah.
That's the key word here.
That's the key word. And that's what I really want to leverage. And that's why I'm doing it, is because it's like, these are free platforms that people are on anyways.
Yep, absolutely. Let's end with just some general tips for someone who has not been super active on social media in the past and is looking, because of the pandemic, to kind of increase their online presence. What might you say to them?
I definitely say, be genuine, be real, be who you are. Because, eventually if you want to meet these people, they're going to meet who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so just being real, being personable, and being able to educate them, because you're going to get a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And so just getting yourself out there, if it's videos, post what you're doing. Don't be afraid. Anytime you're working, just show people you're working. I know that's something I need to do better at. But that's the thing, is just be who you are and post facts. If there's an update, share it with your followers, and then using hashtags, follow people in your community. That'll get just engagement. That's what people want to see.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody wants to follow you on Instagram, where can they find you?
Yeah. So it's you love Cici _, and it's YOU love CICI _.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate your sharing. And
Yeah,
I know
course.
I've learned a lot. So really appreciate your time, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you.